My alarm clock doesn't beep. It doesn't play music either. My alarm clock is a cartoon explosion inside my head. This morning, it was a superhero squirrel named Captain Nutty. He wore a tiny cape made from a leaf. He was fighting a giant, grumpy badger who wanted to steal all the acorns in the world. I woke up so fast. I had to remember every single detail. Captain Nutty had a tiny mask and a belt full of emergency walnuts. The badger, who I decided to call General Grump, had a scar over one eye and only 3 whiskers. I grabbed the notepad I keep next to my bed. I had to draw it all before it disappeared like a dream. Breakfast is another adventure. Mom made pancakes, but to me, they weren't just pancakes. They were alien spaceships landing on a syrupy planet. I used my fork to draw a little alien face on one of them. It had 3 eyes and a wobbly smile. Mom just laughed. She says, "My imagination is my superpower." Dad peeked over my shoulder at my notepad. He saw Captain Nutty. He said, "Looks like General Grump is in big trouble today." My family gets it. They know my brain is like a 24/7 cartoon channel. They never tell me to turn it off. They just ask what's on. Walking to school is never boring. The cracks in the sidewalk are not just cracks. They're secret maps to hidden treasure. The big oak tree on the corner is the headquarters for a secret society of spy birds. I saw a fluffy white cloud that looked exactly like a dragon sleeping on its back. I named him Puffy. Maybe he could be friends with Captain Nutty. Or maybe he could be the badger's secret weapon. My head was getting so full of ideas, I thought it might actually float away. I had to hold on to my backpack straps to stay on the ground. By the time I get to my classroom, my brain is buzzing. It's like a beehive, but instead of bees, it's full of characters and stories. I have Captain Nutty, General Grump, the pancake aliens, and now Puffy the cloud dragon. And school hasn't even started yet. I can't wait for recess. That's when I can tell my best friend Leo all about my new ideas. He's the best audience. He always has the best suggestions. Maybe Leo will think of a cool voice for General Grump. He's really good at grumpy voices. Today is going to be a good day for cartoons. I can just feel it. School can be tough when you have a brain full of cartoons. During math class, the numbers on the page started to look like little characters. The number 8 looked like a snowman. The number 7 looked like a cliff that a hero could jump off. I tried to pay attention to the teacher, I really did. But then I imagined Captain Nutty using a number 2 as a boomerang. He threw it, and it came right back. I started doodling in the margin of my notebook. I drew the snowman number 8 wearing a hat. I drew a little stick figure climbing the number 7 cliff. My teacher, Ms. Davison, walked by my desk. I thought I was in big trouble, but Ms. Davison didn't get mad. She leaned down and whispered, "That's a very creative snowman, Alex. Just make sure he solves the problems, too." She smiled at me. That made me feel a lot better. It's like she understood that my brain just works a little differently. So I tried my best to do the math. But I also made sure the snowman number 8 got the right answer. I drew a little check mark next to him, like he was proud of his work. School is a lot easier when your teachers don't mind a few doodles here and there. It makes learning feel more like a game. Recess is my favorite subject. I ran to the swings with Leo. I pulled out my notebook and showed him the drawing of Captain Nutty and General Grump. Leo's eyes got wide. "Whoa! That's so cool," he said. "The badger needs a sidekick. Maybe a sneaky weasel?" That was a great idea. A weasel. We could call him Wally the Weasel. He could be a double agent. He could pretend to be the badger's friend but secretly helps Captain Nutty. We spent the whole recess making up the story. Wally the Weasel would steal the map to the badger's secret acorn stash. After recess, in art class, we got to use paints. This was my chance. Instead of painting a boring bowl of fruit, I painted a scene from my story. I painted Captain Nutty flying through a forest. The trees were giant broccoli stalks. The ground was made of mashed potatoes. General Grump was hiding behind a big broccoli tree, looking extra grumpy. My art teacher loved it. She said my painting told a story. She even asked if she could hang it on the wall for everyone to see. Having my art on the wall was almost as cool as making it. When I get home from school, my room becomes my studio. I call it the Cartoon Factory. It's where the magic really happens. I have a big desk with all my supplies. I have markers in every color you can imagine. I have colored pencils, crayons, and stacks of clean white paper. The first thing I do is get a fresh sheet. It's like a brand new stage waiting for the show to start. Today's show was Captain Nutty and the Weasel's Betrayal. I started by sketching out the characters with a pencil. I have to get their expressions just right. Captain Nutty looks brave. General Grump looks furious. And Wally the Weasel? He has a shifty, nervous look. Next comes the inking. This is my favorite part. I take a fine black marker and carefully trace over all my pencil lines. This makes the characters pop off the page. It makes them look bold and real, like they're from an actual comic book. It takes a lot of concentration. One shaky line and Wally the Weasel might look happy instead of nervous. I have to hold my breath sometimes when I'm drawing the small details, like Captain Nutty's tiny utility belt. Once the ink is dry, I erase all the pencil marks underneath. It's like revealing a secret. The clean black lines look so professional. Then, it's time for color. Choosing the right colors is really important. It sets the mood for the whole story. I gave Captain Nutty a bright red leaf cape to show he's a hero. General Grump is a mix of dark browns and grays, because he's always in a bad mood. Wally the Weasel is a sneaky shade of purple. I don't know if weasels are purple, but in my cartoon world, they can be. I color everything in carefully, trying to stay inside the lines. The bright colors make the whole scene come to life. It's not just a drawing anymore. It's a moment. Finally, I add the words. I draw little speech bubbles above their heads. Captain Nutty says, "Your acorn-stealing days are over, Grump." General Grump growls, "You'll never catch me, you pesky rodent." And Wally the Weasel just thinks to himself in a thought bubble, "I hope this works." I make up the whole story as I go. Sometimes I even act out the voices for each character. My mom walked in while I was making a deep, grumpy voice for the badger. She just smiled and asked if General Grump wanted a snack. Even my family is part of the story. At dinner, I brought my finished cartoon to the table. It was a 3-panel comic strip. The first panel showed Wally giving Captain Nutty the secret map. The second showed Captain Nutty sneaking into the badger's lair. The third panel was a cliffhanger. Captain Nutty standing in front of a giant pile of acorns, with General Grump's shadow appearing on the wall behind him. My dad studied it like it was a masterpiece in a museum. He said, "I can't wait to see what happens next. You have to make another one tomorrow." That made me feel so proud. It's the best feeling in the world when someone wants to know the rest of your story. My little sister Mia is my biggest fan. She can't read yet, so I have to explain the whole story to her. I pointed to each character and told her what they were saying. She giggled when I did the voice for Captain Nutty. She pointed to the drawing and said, "Nutty's brave!" Hearing her say that made me feel like I had created a real hero. It wasn't just a squirrel with a cape anymore. He was a character that someone else cared about. She asked if she could color one of my drawings tomorrow. I said of course she could. Maybe she can color in the background. Later, when I was getting ready for bed, I pinned the new comic strip on the corkboard in my room. It's covered with all my favorite creations. There are drawings of space aliens, talking dogs, and a robot who is afraid of toast. Looking at all of them together makes me feel happy. It's like a team of all my best ideas hanging out together. Each one started as a tiny spark in my head, and now they're here, in color, for everyone to see. It shows me that my imagination can create real things that make people smile. As I lay in bed, I thought about what would happen next in the story. How will Captain Nutty escape? Will Wally the Weasel have to save him? My brain was already starting to bubble with new ideas. It wasn't an explosion this time. It was quieter. It was like a little movie starting to play just for me. The world outside was quiet and dark, but in my head, the cartoons were just getting started. I closed my eyes, feeling excited. I couldn't wait to see what my idea alarm clock would show me in the morning. I was ready to dream and draw it all over again.